Vanisher Horizon Scraper by Quedeca released a year ago, and I want to analyze it a bit because I feel like the album has changed a bit. It's changed a bit for me. When it came out last year, I thought it was kind of like the second coming of the concept album. I was like, yo, low-key, the artistic renaissance has begun, bro. We got people getting ambitious as hell, giving us like Odyssean levels of storytelling within the album again. Like, it really was an ambitious undertaking by Quedeca, but also a year removed after listening to it again. I'm also realizing that it's a very self-indulgent album. And I think it needed to be, right? In order for Quedeca to create it, like, he needed to like hold himself to a standard of the vision that he had in his head in order for him to like really lock in and make such a beautiful, like, esoteric, existential album. Like, he needed that ego. He needed the ego within himself to be like, okay, like, this is worth it. This is worth doing. And the way he did that is by self-indulging. But also, listening back a year later, like, there is like an amateurish quality about the fact that the album is trying to be this Odyssean level thing, and it is made by one person who doesn't have like the knowledge of being the perfect like 40-year-old like masterful version of himself yet. Like, he's in his mid-20s. He's in his mid-20s when he makes his most ambitious undertaking about like a seafaring voyage concept album where he's producing the whole thing, he's mixing and mastering the whole thing. He's got violins, he's got beautiful guitar. It's a very beautiful album, but it's made by somebody in his mid-20s who is trying to make a beautiful album, which is inspiring as hell, but there is also cracks apparent when you're one person doing something and you don't really have like the peer review stage going on. You know, it makes for really interesting art, but does it make for polished work? Not really. But I don't think this album needed to be polished work looking back at it a year removed. I think it needed to exist as this right now, which is a hyper-individuated sort of masturbatory effort by Quedeca that other people could indulge in, and I think that's all it needed to be. And honestly, I think it's more of an example to show people what they could make themselves as creatives as well. Like, that's how I take it. Sure, I listen back to Vanisher and I think like everything after that I Dream About Sinking interlude isn't really clicking with me. Like, it's too indulgent. Like the Bakunawa song having the 50-second like entrancing ambient interlude or whatever, and the Casper song being so heavily spoken word indulgent 9-minute long linear structure. Like, that stuff doesn't really speak to me as much on like a re-listen. I'm not like spinning those songs back like, ooh, I get to listen to Casper. But there is like an inherent appreciation for the journey and the fact that he crafted the journey for us in a way where it's like, if you want to indulge in my masturbatory little world, here it is at full force. Also, here's the deluxe with like 20 extra minutes of ambient songs, almost like a recollection on the era I created for you as the creator. Like, Vanisher is that. It is his own world that he made for himself that he's getting himself off on a little bit. But I appreciate that he's sharing it with us, because his version of being masturbatory is also being like hella ambitious and hella interesting and giving people something to analyze. Like, there's like the spoken word passages from Maruja, right? Maruja. Like, he gave people those diegetic elements to analyze. He gave people the 6-minute opening track to really sort of expansively drag them into the cinematic qualities of the world. Like, he gave people all the ingredients to really indulge in his vision, but the vision isn't like completely perfect, and that's also really inspiring too, to a certain extent. Like, listening back, sure, there's a lot of cracks in the pavement, there's a lot of moments where the album gets too big for its britches, etc., but that's kind of inspiring because it's one dude doing it. It's one dude being like, you know what, I want to indulge in this, I want to stress myself out for people, I want to give them something larger than life, something larger than maybe I have the capacity to offer at the moment. You know, there's an underlying ambition that I really, really appreciate from Quedeca, where it's like, I want to show out, I want to give people something worth their time, even if I don't have the skill set to completely actualize it in the perfect way. I at least have the motivation to give people that, and I'm gonna hold myself to that standard to give people that every single time. Like Vanisher, even if it isn't perfect, it's perfecter than For Me to You, it's perfecter than I Didn't Mean to Haunt You, in my opinion. There's still the underlying ambition, but the execution is getting better every time and every time because he's holding himself to the ambition consistently. He could have dropped the ambition and punched down and made something that was a little bit more gamed, a little bit more perfect, a little bit more polished, something that he knew he could curate 100%, but he's always striving for the uncomfortable, like as a creative, which I think is so interesting and so inspiring, especially as somebody who is mid-20s, is young, he is leading the underground renaissance in a certain way, like he has a cult-like fan base for a reason. It's because people respect the audacity to have the ambition. People give you the benefit of the doubt too. Like, that's the beauty of living kind of like the most autistic age of the internet and in the zeitgeist at all time, is since everybody has a little bit of the tism going on, they all have like the ambition to be a little bit more autistic, but they're also giving each other the benefit of the doubt because everybody's a little bit autistic. So like they don't care if stuff isn't polished. They're just kind of enamored with what you give them. It's like nobody's breaking down everything and like this could be better, this could be like people are just accepting the gift because they appreciate the weirdness. Like we're living in an age where people will give you the benefit of the doubt if you're weird, and that's so perfect for any young creative out there because that's what you need is just a bunch of benefit of the doubt. It's beautiful to be a young creative right now in the social media age because everybody out there is inherently creative and they want to get the same treatment. So they're willing to treat others how they want to be treated, which is with a little bit of grace, with a little bit of like, oh, I understand what you're trying to do here and I'm going to meet you halfway with your vision. Like, hell yeah. Because if I meet you halfway with your vision and I'm willing to squint and I'm willing to take in what you're giving me without really criticizing it as like, this is this and this is this. If I take what you're giving me as a gift without analyzing all the cracks of it, then you're just going to keep growing and giving us gifts and polishing it out for us because you don't want cracks to be in your stuff anyways, right? So it's not like you're going to keep giving us stuff with cracks. You're going to keep expanding until you give us something that is crackless, or maybe cracklesser than what you gave us in the past, and that's the gift, right? Like just giving people the benefit of the doubt that like they're doing their best and they're giving you something, and that's interesting. Like, thank you for the gift. I appreciate you trying. Hypothetically, Dark Side of the Moon could be more perfect. Your favorite movie of all time, your favorite album of all time could be more perfect in a certain way that the artist would expect for themselves. So if somebody like an artist makes something at 80% and releases it, and somebody takes it and they say this is 100% the best thing, that's what it's all about, to be honest. And you appreciate them trying, and you appreciate them growing, and you appreciate them giving you the gift. Like that artist didn't have to stress themselves out to try and make something interesting, but they did, and they did for you. And even if it has a little bit of cracks going on, there's a bit of crackage in Vanisher or whatever, I am so appreciative that album exists because it didn't have to. It didn't have to. Quidecca never had to be Quidecca. He never had to even make Vanisher in the first place, but he did, and he gave us the story and he gave us the vision, and now we get to listen back to it forever, and it comes with the full album movie, and it comes with the full aesthetic, and it comes with the everything involved with the album. And it's like, is there a hypothetical universe where it's like 10% better, 15% better? Yes, there is. But what does that even mean? What does a 15% better version of Vanisher look like? I don't know. We can't even think about that. It's like Ship of Theseus shit, you know what I mean? Just accept what you're given and appreciate and like benefit of the doubt all the way. That's beautiful. That's love. That's what the universe is. That's like universal love. That's the same principle as why people get married, you know? It's like I'm willing to share my life with you even though you are a human with flaws. Like I'll take you and your flaws. I'll take all of you. I don't even want the best parts of you. I want all of you. Like that's what love is. That's why we're here in the universe, in all honesty. You know what I mean? Like there's suffering in the universe 100%, but there's also the idea of joy, and there's the idea of like being understood, etc. It's like it's worth the suffering to be able to experience the everything. That's why people raise children and make babies and stuff, right? It's like the idea of that child becoming something and experiencing their own version of life that could be as infinite and interesting as the version you've lived in their own separate way. Like it's worth the toil of raising the baby. It's worth the money. It's worth the college. It's worth the saving up money. Now, if you are somebody who just doesn't want to give birth because it's like, well, that's too much work, then it's not worth it for you. But for the people who do decide to do that, it's like they're saying like it's worth it. It's worth it for me to raise a kid, and it's worth it for a kid to be in this world to experience the full width and breadth of life, even the suffering. You know what I mean? Because there is joy and suffering hand in hand in life. The idea that maybe life could be better than even I envision it, you know? That's kind of what's on my mind right now as a creative myself who's getting ready to release his own album and like rolling that out, and Chakra's out now, a new single. But it's like beautiful. It's like joyous. It's like, hell yeah. You know, I don't know. That's what's on my mind this morning. Thank you for watching the video. That's Vanisher. As creatives, we just gotta commit and be ambitious because people will give us the benefit of the doubt. Because I'm still listening back to Vanisher, and even though I think like there's crackage, like I said, it's just ambitious and it's hella inspired and it's so interesting and it's so intriguing, and there's a reason there's a cult-like fan base around Quidecca. It's because he showed himself as somebody who was willing to get ambitious, and the cult-like fan base is willing to meet him on that level of ambition no matter the crackage. Like there's people who spin back from Me to You and say that's his best album because they're willing to meet the vision halfway. They're willing to see through maybe the 60% quality that maybe Quidecca thinks that album is now, or somebody else might think that album is in comparison to something else. Somebody else thinks of it as 100%. The bell curve principle in action. You might think something is 60, someone else thinks it's 100. Somebody might think it's 20%. Okay, who cares, or whatever. That person who thinks something is 20%, they also think something that you might might think is 20% as 100%. Like, there's people who appreciate NF's music. I'll never listen to an NF song in my life, but God bless somebody out there who's listening to an NF song right now and just like being fired up. You are given the benefit of the doubt in every moment. Life is a universal dap up between everybody being like, let's do it. Let's do something cool. What do you have to offer? I don't know, but it's probably interesting. Hell yeah. Almost like looking at a tree that's not fully grown and being like, that's a beautiful tree. You know what I mean? Like the tree itself isn't fully grown yet. How could you call it beautiful if it isn't finished? It's like, no, you just appreciate the fact that it is existing right now as that beautiful tree, and it will grow into a larger and larger tree, and you get to say, wow, it really bloomed since then. It really did. I didn't know it was going to bloom in that direction. That's so cool. It's like infinite appreciation for the present you, for the present people around you, etc., because they're going to grow, so appreciate them at their base right now, because it's not going to last forever. They're going to improve, they're going to grow in a certain direction. So just appreciate how they are right now. You only get that once, you know? You only get that tree in that state once, so appreciate it. I don't know. That's what's on my mind. Vanisher, 1 year removed. Thank you, Evil Scuba Diver fanbase. Thank you, everybody. I'll see ya in the next video, in the next excursion. That's the bit. Keep it evil, keep it real, keep it beautiful, authentic, and all that, and goodbye. Double thumbs up to end ya off.